So buying a home in Washington right now could be a little tricky with the high interest rate and the rising home prices. But what if I told you that there is a way to get into a new home using a special, very little known state program called the Washington State Bond? And so today I have a special guest in my channel. This is a good friend, Gavenn Saftich, who's a local mortgage expert, who's going to teach you all about this really wonderful program that's going to help not just the first-time home buyers, but even repeat buyers as well.
For
So
sure.
welcome to the channel, Gavenn. Thank you so much for being here.
Of course, I'm excited to
So
be here.
awesome. Yeah. Let's talk about the Washington State Bond,
Perfect.
what it is and who is it for.
Yeah, so Washington State Bond Program is, something the state created to help people get into a home. With rising prices, it's harder for people to, get enough for that down payment. So that's where they kind of stepped in. They're willing to give you, a portion of that to cover your down payment as well as your closing costs.
So it's not a loan product, it's just a state program.
Yeah, state program,
Yeah.
down payment assistance program is what they
Yeah.
kind of consider it.
Right.
And just, different opportunities to help, first time home buyers, repeat buyers that just,
Yeah.
don't have a down payment option and just need something and don't want to go back to renting. 'Cause
Okay. And who would benefit the most from a program like this?
From what I'm seeing now, it's a lot of first-time home buyers, that make enough monthly but don't have necessarily the down payment amount. But this program is great for also, buyers that have owned a home before and, don't have as much equity but need to sell, want to buy a new one. This kind of helps bridge that gap too with their down payment option.
Yeah.
Or it's a lot of the times too, it's, those high earners that, have a lot of monthly debt against
Okay.
them.
Right.
That like they're not able to, save for that down payment.
Okay.
Or like another good one too would be like, medical students or people that come from like a lot of student loan debt
Yeah.
that just, a lot of their money is tied up into paying that. So they don't have that. But, their monthly income, they make a lot. So they, they're making a lot of money, but they're also paying a lot in the student loan debt.
Yeah.
So they don't have that balance of like, hey, saving for a
Yeah.
home, but they're tired of renting. Like
Sure.
they make too much money. They want their money to work
Right.
for them to
Right.
help, then tenfold pay off those student
So
loans.
maybe like a business owner who may
Business
have a
owner
lot
as
of
well.
debt but has a high income.
Yep.
Maybe this
Yeah.
could
And
be
we can leave
perfect
it
for
very
these people.
vague. It's like,
Yeah.
high income earners that, just have a lot of, either student loan or monthly debt that they
Right.
can't, save that, down payment amount
Yeah.
for, that you can just, use this program, but, have enough money for it.
Okay, great. And so how is it different from conventional or like a traditional loan?
So it's different from a traditional loan because you have a silent second, they kind of consider it, that gives you, up to 5% of your loan amount to help cover the down payment and closing costs. So that is just a second that sits on your loan. So you have a first and second lien with it. There is no payment on that second one, which is awesome. And it goes away when you refinance or sell the property. So it's a great opportunity to at least get into a home when you don't have the down payment for it. And then, later down the line when rates kind of come down, you get some equity in the home, you do a refinance, you pay off that second, and then you're into, your traditional financing.
Okay. And how does the interest rates compare to some of the other loan products?
Very similar to what you're seeing, your conventional FHA financing. This program's also cool as well because you can go as low as 3% down. So you base that off of conventional financing. You can do FHA financing, USDA, and VA for this program, and they all help cover that.
Okay. And is there any income or purchase limits?
Right now there is not, but if you do want to learn more, please do reach out to Joe or myself. We'd be happy to help qualify you for that.
Okay, cool. So what type of homes or areas does this work best in?
I would say, city and like a little bit of the outskirts. So, we're seeing a lot of these loans happen out, in the Tri-Cities area, eastern side of Washington, because it's growing as much as it can. A lot of people are moving away from the west side of the state over to that side of it. Housing's a little bit more affordable too over there. So a lot of, blue collar workers are kind of going over there, and just people that want to get away from the city is where we're seeing a lot of it. But I mean, it's a great program for the Seattle area,
Okay.
Southwest Washington, all the kind of growing areas that you see on the I-5 corridor.
Yeah.
Definitely a good loan product for that.
Okay. So if I was looking to buy a house in Portland, then this would still be applicable?
So there is different ones for Oregon too. So Washington specific. But yeah, glad you brought that up
Yeah.
too. So yeah, we are based in Southwest Washington. So we deal with a lot of, over the river since we're so close. We're, both kind of headquartered in Vancouver. And that's something else if you guys do want to reach out to us. We do
Yeah.
Oregon as well. And Oregon has their own programs that we'd love to kind of talk you over with that too.
Sure.
As well as some, national down payment assistance
Right.
programs as well.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, we get confused because we live so
Yeah.
close to
I
Oregon,
know,
so it's
I
kind
know.
of close.
So I just used I used the city Portland just as an example of like a major city, and now I realize, okay, well, that's on the other side of the river in a different state.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We get confused because a lot of people are like looping Vancouver with
Right,
Portland.
right.
Actually, Vancouver's growing larger than, the Portland metro
Yeah,
areas, which is
yeah,
crazy. So
yeah.
it's cool. And, we're seeing a lot of down payment assistance programs like, this Washington bond one be more relevant up here.
So whether you're in urban setting, suburban, rural, this loan product can work for anybody.
100%.
Okay, great. And also we have to know about, if there's any caveats or pitfalls or anything that the buyers should be wary about, they should be aware when going through this loan.
Yeah, I think the only thing that I like to tell, any person that I, help pre-approve or pre-qualify for this loan is just like, hey, you'll technically have two liens on your property with, the first and second mortgage. And that's the only real caveat to it. But if you kind of take a step back and, look at it from, 1,000-foot level,
Mhm.
it's really just a way for you to get into that home now when you don't have the cash. And then when you finally build up that equity, you start that generational wealth we always talk about.
Mhm.
It's then you refinance and you pay off that second. You don't have to worry about it. It just kind of sits there until you're either selling or refinancing the home. So that's the only real caveat to, a lot of the down payment assistance programs
Yeah.
is, there's going to be that silent second there for you. Some of them do have payments on that second. Luckily with Washington Bond, it does not have a payment on the second. And rates are very comparable to what we're seeing today, with FHA and conventional financing.
Okay. Is it hard to get an offer accepted with this type of financing?
I have not experienced that too, especially around here. Joe and I see it often too. We're kind of seeing a nice little price adjustment. It's coming down a little bit. People are willing to give seller credit, so I think now it's a great opportunity if you're able to buy. Have that monthly income. That this product just allows you to at least get that offer out there. So I haven't seen any pitfalls with this offer. It's a great opportunity. A lot of the agents around here that we work with, ask about this product.
Yeah.
Like they come to you, like they'll have a first time home and be like, hey, are you able to offer Washington Bond? So it's a huge product that a lot of people know around here, that a lot of people want to, have a lender that's able to give that product. So
Mhm.
a lot of people, when you're putting in an offer and are like, okay, this is, you're held at a higher standard
Mhm.
if you're, certified to do these loans, because of how sought after they are. So with the offers, I haven't seen any, people like, oh, I'm not going to give them that offer because they're doing
Yeah.
a down payment assistance.
Right.
I think right now a lot of people are just like, they're just happy to have the offer. And even in the busy times, throughout COVID, being a part of those transactions, most of those transactions got offer accepted
Sure.
because of just, that heartfeltness comes out when it's
Mhm.
like, hey, you tell the story, you'd be like, hey, this is the reason why we're doing this program to, get first-time homebuyers into homes. And that's the biggest reason why Washington created this program,
Mhm.
is just to help.
And also like the appraisal, do they have like the different guidelines?
No, so it's based on whichever, conventional financing avenue you pick. So Washington
Okay.
Bond is kind of a piggyback to any of the, FHA, conventional, USDA, and VA.
Right.
So they kind of consider themselves a piggyback on whichever loan program you choose.
Gotcha.
So then within each of those loan programs, they have their, your different outlines. So
Yeah.
FHA is a little bit different than conventional, to VA, to USDA. They all
Right.
have their own, little quirks and
Right.
kind of workarounds with everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of based on whatever the lender wants to do. Some people want to do the 3% option to help cover a little bit more of their closing costs. Some people want to go FHA because maybe the rate's a little bit
Okay.
better. It kind of all depends on that.
All right. So, Gavin, thank you so much for
Of
summing
course.
up the whole program for all of us here. Hopefully that helps. Especially if you're on the fence about purchasing a property right now because of the high interest rates, or because you don't feel, maybe you're just not sure if you're going to qualify or not, or you just don't have enough down payment saved up, you'll be surprised to find out how many options there are. All you have to do is get in touch with the lender, So I'll leave Gavin's contact information in the description so you can email him or call him or text him. He'll
For
be
sure.
more than happy to answer any questions that you might have. And
Absolutely.
yeah, Gavin, is there anything else you like to
Yeah, I
say?
would definitely just say if you, at any point in the next couple of years you're curious about different options, it doesn't hurt to reach out and just see what it would look like right now. I mean,
Mm,
Joe and I both know we have borrowers that are kind of on the
mhm,
sidelines right now. They just
mhm.
wanted to hear what is potentially out there for them, and that's what I tell everyone that I talk to. If you're even just a slight thought about it, it doesn't hurt to ask the questions now and then get
Mhm.
that preparedness for when that time comes.
100%. 100%. All right,
So
cool.
awesome. Well, thank you
Okay.
for having me on.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much for watching. I hope this video helped. And please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell.
For sure.
Bye.
Bye.